All right. We just talked about, you know, freelancer and some of these other places where we can go, some of the types of gigs we can get. Then we talked about like how to make a great profile. Now I'm gonna just give you a couple tips on how to actually make an effective proposal so that you have a better opportunity to actually win some of these gigs and make some of that money. Um, and there are some nuances to it, and I know that it's working in a lot of these, that a lot of these do work, because people tell me that, like when I talk to them, like when I have clients, they're like, oh, what I liked about you was X and Y, and and I like the way that what you said in your proposal. So I know that this stuff works. So definitely put these elements in there. So first of all, what do I mean by a proposal? Well, let's go back and we're going to go find some work again. And what we're going to do is, let's say we want to, what's this guy here? Hey, maybe you want to help with that. So let's say we're going to apply for this one. I'm not going to do it, but you come here. I would, the first step to a good proposal is reading through every single word, every single one, because sometimes people will throw stuff in there. They'll like just in the middle of the text, they'll be like, if you read, to prove that you really read through my entire, job gig proposal, put the word, ship in your proposal or something like that. So you're going to want to read through it. Not only that, but a big part of the proposal, and you're going to read through this, and then you're going to click on submit, and then it's going to ask you, how much you want. You want to bid on the job. It's going to, and then you're going to fill out your proposal, which I'm going to show you in a second here. But you want to look through here and understand it, because one of the big parts of your proposal is going to be addressing exactly what they're looking for. Because you're almost going to kind of mirror back to them. You're going to like repeat back to them what they're looking for. This one's probably a bad example because this guy's going into some super depth here. I was going to look for something a little more interesting. Geez, this guy's got some frickin' stuff on here too. They're not all like this, guys. So anyway, I'll tell you what. We'll just use this one. So you come here, you read everything all the way through, and so when you start a proposal, and I've got some templates here because really I just copy and paste. I mean, a lot of it is the same, but what I do is, and here's my music one that I use, right? I've got a couple because I don't just do music. I also do some other businesses and other entrepreneurs. I like to work with a little bit of everybody since I can, because I can do Facebook ads, I can do Google. It just makes me versatile. So this is what I do. When I send something, first of all, this is a big one. You wouldn't think it would make very much of a big deal, but it does to some people. And it may not apply in every job, but what I like to do is I like to say hello from Minnesota. And the reason that is because a lot of people out there, they don't like talking. They want to know that this person speaks English. And it could work the other way too. Maybe you're Indian and you're working in India, or you're working in Asia. Just telling them where you're from could be a big deal. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people. There's people in America that don't want to work with people that they can't understand if they don't speak very good English. Maybe they just want to be closer because they don't want to work in a different time zone. That happens once in a while. I've worked with people in Europe. I work with people in Australia, and it can be difficult. Because it's just a different time of the day and they're not always available. So I like to just say it right up front. Boom, I'm from Minnesota, and it's Minnesota, USA. If I notice they're from a different country, I might say Minnesota, USA, or I might just say USA. But I like to put my location on there. Plus too, if they're from there, it's just another point of something you can talk about and build rapport. So like I said, back to what we're talking about now. This stuff is all the same. But when I come out, like right, hello from Minnesota, and then what I do is I go and after I read through there, I usually can identify some stuff that I can help them with. Maybe give them some tips like right out of the bat. Like first I'll say, I can help you with, in this case, I can help you write about vinyl records and turntables. And we go through here looking for a writer who loves vinyl. And then if you read through here, maybe you'll find some tips on there. Be like, hey, did you ever think about, I mean, that's great vinyl, but, maybe I could write about, record players. I think that'd be a great thing. Just speak to something, maybe give them some tips about what they could do better right up here. Because right out of the bat, you're like, oh, wow, this guy actually read my proposal, and he actually sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So you give him a little value up here, and then you go into like, hey, this is where it starts to become about you. In the music case, I've got a lot of stuff I like to show people. My LinkedIn profile is pretty beefed up. I've been doing this for a while. I got a lot of credentials on there, so that shows people right away, wow, this guy, he has knows what he's talking about. I like to send them back to Music Goat because I have a music marketing blog, right? So they can go and see that, wow, this guy's putting out some content. He's helping people already. And then I go into the testimonial bit again because I just want to make sure. And these testimonials for my music are very geared towards musicians. Or they're from musicians. So then, that way these just makes them feel better. Now, a huge thing, this is a big one right here. So we're going to spend some time talking about this one, but this last paragraph right here is a big deal. Because I know that a lot of consultants out there, a lot of people on Upwork, they don't talk to people. They don't get on the phone with them. They don't do anything. And this has been a huge advantage. I can get on the phone with a lot of people because what they do is they see this and I'm like, hey, I just want to talk to you for 30 minutes. I think a quick chat will give you some answers, and it helps you get to know the person. And nobody does it. I mean, there was I had a client the other day that, they became my client, which is great. They told me that nobody offered to get on the phone with them, so it's like, I think right away you're showing right up front that, what, I don't need your money right away. I mean, I just want to find out if we can work together, and you're going to get to know them. I think that's a huge benefit, and a lot of people aren't doing that. And I would bet in some of your niches that you'd be working in that other musicians probably aren't doing it, or whoever's trying to bid on those jobs. Another important factor in this too is, here's what I say. I guarantee that you will get loads of valuable insight and good value from the call. No charge. You're getting a free call, but you're going to get a lot of, you're going to learn a lot just by talking to me. And if you think that you wasted your time on the phone with me, I'm going to make a $10 donation to your charity of your choice. And I do that, and they're like, wow, this guy, geez, how can somebody turn that down, right? I learned this from a guy named Perry Marshall, by the way. This is one of his tricks, and it works great. And you know what? I've never once had a person ask for the $10 donation. So that's how I do it. That's my music one. My non-music one is a little more straight to the point. And I just kind of altered it a little bit to, just to speak to a more general business owner as opposed to musicians. So I don't have a lot of links and a lot of other stuff going on there. But again, I did the same thing down here. I'd try to get them on a call so I can talk with them. They get to know me. And then, I offer a higher donation with the business owners. Just, I don't know. I don't know why it just feels right to bump it up for a little bit for them. So, and we were talking before, this is another big point. We were talking before about, the whole, what should I put in my hourly rate? This is a big one, especially in the beginning, and it has worked. I don't use it with the music one as much. I mean, sometimes I might, but I usually don't use it in the music one because I think I have enough proof that I've established myself that I can work in the music industry with whatever I'm applying for, so I don't have to back it up and I don't have to take a discount. But when I go over to the other side of things, I mean, there's a lot of people doing AdWords, there's a lot of people doing Facebook ads, and you could do this as well. But what I'll do is I'll just put a little PS in there. Hey, fairly new to Upwork and need to establish my credibility, so I'm willing to take this job at a 50% discount on my regular rate for the first month, right? I mean, you can do it for the first month, first project, whatever it is, and then just let them know any future jobs, and monthly work will be at my regular rate if you decide to continue with me. I'm doing this right off the bat because it's like, they might have said, oh my God, this guy is $50 an hour, but it's like, oh, but he's willing to work at a 50% discount. That might help you come underneath, some of the other people that are bidding on the project right off the bat, because really you just want to get your foot in the door. These could be long-term customers. They could come back for more, especially get like a production work or something. I've had plenty of people where I just built them a web page, or I just set up their email list. Well, now they're like, well, hey, how do you do Facebook ads? Or how do you do this? How do you do that? And it's like they continue to work with me. So, giving a discount at the beginning, especially when you're just starting out, just to get rolling is a great idea. And again, I finish off with testimonials. So that's pretty much, how to set up a proposal. So yeah, go ahead and kind of copy, or I shouldn't say copy, but, get inspired by what I'm using on here and just kind of tweak the information to suit whatever it is that you do. Put a little proof in there. I've worked with a lot of people and done some stuff. You want to put that in there. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, lead with your location if you can, if it's appropriate. State that you can help them in their own words. Again, that goes back to reading the proposal and really getting understanding what they're doing, and then, basically just regurgitate the information back to them, because they're like, oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Nobody goes and says, oh, hey, he copied it. Be a little discreet, but really just tell them, like, oh, yeah, I can help you write about vinyl records and turntables. So you want to just say it back to them. It sounds retarded, but really it works, and it's, a lot of people do it. Again, offer to work at a discount. We discussed that at the end. That'll help you build up some credibility. Offer the 15 to 30 minute phone consultation. Huge deal. And again, I've heard from multiple people that I've worked with and got on the phone with that hardly anybody else offers them a phone call. So they were like, wow, that's cool. They liked it. And again, can never stress this enough. Always get some testimonials in there. Just, you're just making them feel good, man. So anyway, I'm going to stop this video, and then we're going to come back, and I'm just going to go over, these are some random kind of tips, as you're working with people. So we'll be right back in the next video.